Okay, so this is a practice exercise that you could try if you're trying to walk up towards completing the CSWA that SolidWorks, the certification that SolidWorks offers. This is just a practice, a, yeah, it's just a practice question or practice exercise on building a part using SolidWorks. I have just a regular extrude um, feature here, and we have like a double hole. Nothing fancy about the hole, just a regular through hole. So let's see how we can, yep, how we can get this. We'll try to get the mass, and we'll try to get the mass that is pretty close to what we want. In this case, the mass is right here, so we'll try to get something very similar to that. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so I mean, in cases like this, you pretty much can decide where you want to start. Um, I think it makes the most sense to start from the origin, right? But different people can choose to start from different places, can choose to sketch in different ways based on what they want, because you might want to start with one phase, like this phase, where someone else will want to start with this phase, someone else want to start with the top phase and all of that. But looking at this, I try to start closer to the origin and then build up from there. So, there's a simple box down here. It's just a regular extrude, nothing too fancy. So that would be the best place to start, in my opinion. And we see here that we want the origin to be towards the right hand side of the right plane. So if you're looking at it towards from the right plane, the origin should be here. So that means the origin is here, exactly here. So we can take note of that when we are doing the extrusion. But now for now, let's just do the basic sketch, and that's for the bus base. So, like I said, I want to draw this face, so it makes more sense to draw it in the front plane because we're looking at this from this side. So that's the front plane. And remember, the origin is this, but if you're looking at it from the front plane, we only see this, right? So the origin is anchored here. So we want a corner rectangle in this case. We want it like this. Then in terms of sketching, we can sketch, in terms of dimension, we can dimension what it should be. So this should be 28, which shouldn't show now actually, because we are still on the front plane. So it says the height of the rectangle or the height of the bus is 30. So it's 30, and um the width is 60 millimeters wide. Okay, so we have 30, we have 60, pretty basic, pretty standard. We close the sketch and we extrude. Okay, now based on where the origin is, we see that the origin is right here. So if you are extruding, and you're extruding let me switch it up, right? If you're extruding in this way, then you are taking away the origin from where it should be, because now you're saying the origin should be here, which is wrong. I mean, if you're designing based on what the practice exercise asks, this will be wrong because you want the origin to be here, to be here. So instead, you also don't do mid plane because if you do mid plane, the origin will be right at the middle, which you don't want again. So should be this way because that way, of course, this way, no matter how like you extrude it, the origin still remains here as it should be. Okay, but now we're extruding it just 28 millimeters, and so we have that included. Here we extrude 28 millimeters. Sorry, not sure if that's what I said. Okay, now just 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 to be fancy, I like um I always like it to have the same color as it does in the practice exercise. I'm just going ahead and do that now. You really don't have to, just something I do. Okay, so scan it, make sure it's the same. Go to isometric, make sure it's all good. Perfect. So we're good to go for right now. Pretty much done just basic boss. You can choose to do the whole now. Like we could just do it right now. Doesn't really matter when you do it. But for that, um I like to do an extrude a through hole. So there are a couple of ways of doing this actually. You could do it through hole right now after building the boss base. You could use a hole wizard, or you could also actually sketch it out, sketch a circle in the initial sketch you made. So let's try out the different ways to do that. So make a hole here or make a circle here. Circle is somewhere here. The diameter of the circle is 12 millimeters, right? So that's 12. The circle is anchored from here to here would be 12. Just 60 minus 48, right? So from here to here would be 12. And from here to here would be 16. Okay, now that's fully defined. Now what you do is after doing that, just pretty much go along with your extrude. So what this does is that since there's a hole there, when you're trying to extrude, SolidWorks just 'cause it's a hole you've made a hole in the initial sketch. And so SolidWorks just extrudes with that hole that you made, and that's why it looks this way. So I find that really easy to do, and if it's just a regular dowel hole I have, nothing fancy, no counter sink, no counter ball, just a regular dowel hole, I find that easier to do that way. But like I said, there are a couple of ways, and I can show you the different ways you could do it. So that's one way. Let's just Control Z until we get out. You can do hole wizard if you want. Um, hole wizard, we just need to select the type of hole. For a dowel hole, so for the dowel hole, you need to select the size of the dowel hole. Asymmetric or then metric, nothing too fancy for the dowel holes, just regular dowel holes. The size is 12 in this case, because that's the size of the circle. Um, and then it's a true all. That's all good. Pretty much have to select the position here. So you select the position, this is the face you want it to be, and you put in the hole. So after that, you smart dimension and tell SolidWorks where that hole is or where that point is. So in this case, still the same thing, 12. I always make this mistake. Putting the numbers in the dimension names. I really don't matter anymore. I just leave it the way it is. And then this should be 16. Okay, so the hole is defined because it says fully defined. And then you can basically exit from this, and it's a fully defined hole. The exact same thing we just did now. Pretty much just depends on what you want. If you want to be fancy, you can have your hole wizard there. If you want to have it here, that also works as well. So let's just continue with this. The third option is basically to draw to literally just draw a circle over this. So just go to like a new sketch and then use here, choose the as a plane and draw a circle and then dimension it using this. But like I said, it's still the same thing that we just did. So okay, so have the main boss base extruded. If you're looking at it now, we've done this part out. We need this part left. So for this part, we pretty much just have to do this section. And then now, some people prefer to sketch like after having your first couple of extrusions. Some people prefer to sketch the next like the next sketches they do, they prefer to do it on any of the faces of the body. I don't always like that because I feel when you have to change the dimension of that face, SolidWorks gives you a problem most of the time. So what I do is I like to use the actual parent plane, which is the main plane, the front, top, or right, instead of using the faces. So let me show you what I mean. For a new sketch, I could choose to sketch here because I just want to do something up like this, but I don't always like that, so I just like to do front plane, considering the front plane. But after doing that, you could always basically tell SolidWorks that every line that you're drawing needs to be coincident with this particular line. So it's kind of still the same thing, but like I said, it's just different styles for different people. So okay, so we just need to draw a line here. We have to draw a line that okay. This is typically what we want. Okay. Now, of course, I know this is here and it should be here. What I'm just going to do is tell SolidWorks that those lines are, or the point and the line are coincident, and it snaps to that point. I need to dimension this here. This should be 20. This should be 32. This should be 44. Okay, and then the heights. Okay, so 30, 40. So right, this should be 40. 52, and then the final one should be 70. Okay, looks like it's all defined here. Pretty standard, like I said. Oh, except this. Now I always make this mistake. We need to close the sketch up. Perfect. And now, when you see that you have I think it's a contour that's called like a shaded contour, gray, then you know that all your lines are fully defined and the entities actually form into a closed shape, which is what you want. So if you don't see a shaded gray contour, that means most likely means your lines don't close up. It's open somewhere, which you don't want. And yeah, it looks good. And then we can go ahead and have that extruded. Now, just something I just thought of now. If you drew this sketch on this plane, and let me show you what I mean. You can just edit sketches here. So if you drew it on this plane, right? See what happens. Now your sketch is here. And remember, um, the extrusion of this starts from the origin, you know, like it starts from somewhere coincident or parallel. I can't think of the word right now to the origin, right? Because like they're on the same line, right? So that means it doesn't start from here, it starts from there. Of course, there are a couple of ways around it, and I'll actually show you guys those ways and then go back to the original plane where it should be and show you how I would have done that simple. So if you drew your sketch on this plane, still not a problem, like I said. All you need to do is uh, all you need to do is have it extruded properly. So if I'm having it extruded here, for instance, so we know that the length of the extrusion is 20 millimeters, right? So that's 20. Now SolidWorks is pointing to the direction we don't want it into the direction we want it from here to here. All you need to do is change your plane where it's been extruded from. Select the surface, you want it extruded from this surface, and then it's would give you what you want, right? Because this is exactly what we need 20. Alternatively, like I said, you could just have all that done in the initial plane instead. Okay, fully defined. Should I sketch? I could show my this one. Should I sketch on? Oh, not yet. I just need to close the sketch up. Okay. And then, okay. So yeah, what I would have done would just be to extrude plenty and it gives us what we want. Now, most of this practice exercises asks you to get the math properties when you're done to make sure that you actually designed your parts in this the intent that they had in mind. And so we get our math property here. We need to select the property first, what type of property it is. So I mean, in this case we didn't, but let's say we did, right? Let's say we have something actually selected here. Let's say this was just a plastic, right? And then we get the math properties. It says 92 grams. So this right here, 92 grams. So depending on the properties that you have with you, you just, I check the math properties and if it is right, then you know that you did a good job. So that is pretty much the first, one of the first practices in the SolidWorks training manual. So I'll try to do the videos of the other ones as well.